Hello, welcome to Stretford End United. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I want to start with last night's 1-0 win over Aston Villa. A win is a win, but I'm sure we'd all agree the performance last night by United was dreadful. We took the early lead through Scott McTominay. It was a fantastic ball that was played into the box by Fred. Great finish by Scott McTominay. We were 1-0 up after 8 minutes. After we scored, I was hoping that we'd go on and dominate that game and score another goal early on in that first half. That didn't happen. I think the opposite happened. After we scored, we allowed Aston Villa to start playing in that game. We allowed Aston Villa to get into some really dangerous areas in that first half. I actually think Aston Villa were unlucky not to get something out of that game last night, and I think if they were more clinical in front of goal, they could have got something out of that game. And lucky for United, Aston Villa did have 2 goals disallowed, but performance levels from some of these United players last night just simply aren't good enough. Performance levels definitely need to improve. And as United fans, can we sit here and say this is progress by Manchester United? Because in my opinion, I don't think we can. When you look at the performances over the last couple of games against Newcastle, against Wolves, and against Aston Villa last night, I think the performance levels overall have been really poor. I mean, Aston Villa came to Old Trafford last night. They dominated possession. I think United were really sloppy on the ball last night. We were making mistakes pretty much all over the pitch. I think we were poor going forward. There was no energy going forward from United last night. So we're still seeing massive issues at Manchester United. Ranić has been in charge now for a month. Ranić believes that this 4-2-2 formation will work at Manchester United. There was lots of United fans coming out on social media last night showing their frustration at the poor performance that United put in last night, saying that Ranić needs to change the formation. It's not working. It doesn't suit the style of some of these United players. With the formation side of things, maybe there's something that Ranić is going to have to look at, but it all comes down to performance levels from the players as well. The players have got to have the right attitude, and I can't going on and again with performances from some of these players last night. Have these players got the right attitude to adapt to this new formation? No, they haven't, because they're not showing any kind of progress on the pitch at all. So maybe it is something that Ranić will have to look into in regards to the formation, whether he will have to change the formation to get the best out of this Manchester United team. But we can't really use the formation that Ranić is using as an excuse, because these United players, they need to be having the right attitude on the pitch, and they need to be showing why they should be playing for this Manchester United team every week. And I don't think, there's not many of these Manchester United players who are showing why they should be playing for United week in, week out. I thought, the one player that really stood out for me last night was Scott McTominay. I thought, Scott McTominay had a really good game again last night. A lot of United fans will come back with Scott McTominay. Is his consistency. You'll have some really good games, and then he'll have some really average games. I thought he was really average against Wolves in the league, but I thought he was outstanding last night. Marcus Rashford had a really quiet game last night. I thought Bruno Fernandes was really quiet. I do want to talk about Marcus Rashford. Me and Gavin had this chat last night, and I thought what Gavin said, I do think he hit the nail on the head. With us losing the Europa League final at the end of last season, and then Marcus Rashford missing that penalty in the Euros for England last night. Is Marcus Rashford, physically and mentally drained? We all know that Marcus Rashford was playing with a shoulder injury for quite a bit of last season, and then he went to surgery after the Euros. So, in my opinion, I think what Gavin has said is right. I think Marcus Rashford, he's mentally drained, and I think he needs to take some time away from the club to, so he can get himself together. Because we all know the qualities that Marcus Rashford have. We all know that Marcus Rashford has got the potential to be a really good player at Manchester United. And I read a story today that Ranić doesn't know why Marcus Rashford's form has taken a slump. But I think what I just said there, I do believe that Marcus Rashford is physically and mentally drained, and I think he needs the help. He's low on, he looks like he's low on confidence at the moment, and I do think maybe Marcus Rashford, the best thing for United to do with Rashford is to give him maybe 3 or 4 games off. Let Marcus Rashford get himself together, let him have a week or 2 away from the football club, get the help he needs, and then come back, and then hopefully then we'll see a much better Marcus Rashford going forward. But there's definitely an issue there with Marcus Rashford at the moment. I might be wrong with what I just said, but there's definitely something that needs to be resolved because Marcus Rashford's form this season, has definitely taken a slump. And there were some United fans who were quite critical of Marcus Rashford's performance last night. I thought that was quite harsh when you look at we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. But every United fan is going to have their own opinion. Bruno Fernandes, really don't know what's going on with Bruno Fernandes. His performance levels this season again, simply they're not good enough. Whether it's tiredness, whether it's a confidence issue. But again, when you've got players like Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes who are underperforming in this Manchester United team, there are definitely issues, and we need to resolve these issues very, very quickly because we've got some really important games coming up from now to the end of the season. But going back to the performance last night, we need to do some kind of transfer business. We need to do some kind of business in this transfer window. We need to bring at least one player in to improve this Manchester United team. Going back to what I said, some of these performances from some of these United players last night just weren't good enough. I thought, Victor Lindelof, he made a huge mistake last night in that first half when it looked like he tried to play the ball back to David De Gea. Nearly cost United, going back to if Aston Villa were more clinical in front of goal, they could have made that game 1-1. So we are still seeing issues overall in this Manchester United team. We're still seeing issues in the midfield. We're still seeing mistakes being made in the defence. We're not clinical going forward. There doesn't seem to be any energy going forward at all in this Manchester United team. And like I say, it is a massive, massive worry. We play Aston Villa again on Saturday in the league, and if we play like that against Aston Villa like we did last night, I think Aston Villa, they will get some kind of result. I do believe, I said at the start of the video, I think Aston Villa were unlucky not to get something out of that game. So the performance against Aston Villa on Saturday in the league needs to be 100 times better because we can't afford to drop any more points in the league. We're trying to get into the top 4. If we keep on putting poor performances that we did last night and that we have done over the last couple of games, we're not. Let's just face it. Let's look at reality here. We're not going to finish in the top 4 this season. So over the next couple of days, Ranić needs to work with these players. He needs to look at the performance levels that some of these players are putting in for Manchester United. Whether he makes changes, whether he takes some of these players out and gives other players the opportunity, whether he changes the formation at Manchester United. But they need to do something. Ranić, the coaching team, they need to do something to improve these performance levels at Manchester United. So like I say, and I'm sure we'd all agree, the performance levels at the moment just simply aren't good enough. I also want to talk about, there was a story out there today in regards to Dean Henderson. Earlier on this morning, there was reports saying that Dean Henderson had requested to leave Manchester United he's not happy with the playing time at United. About an hour ago, I come out again at Manchester United, have rejected that request for Dean Henderson to leave. I'm not quite sure why United have rejected Dean Henderson's request. Because Dean Henderson, I think he is going to struggle to get game time in goal for United. Because David De Gea, last season David De Gea's form wasn't fantastic. I think Dean Henderson did have game time at United last at United last season. But I think David De Gea, you know, he's looked at what he was doing wrong last season. He's looked, you know, he's seen he's got competition from Dean Henderson. He's come back a much better player. You know, we're now seeing David De Gea that we've seen from years ago. You know, every player goes through a bad patch in their career. You know, David De Gea had his bad patch last season, but this season I think David De Gea has been fantastic for Manchester United. He's made some really important saves that saved United throughout the season. So I don't get why those reporters saying United have rejected Dean Henderson to leave United. The reporters saying that Southampton were favourites to put in the bid for Dean Henderson. But we'll have to keep an eye on that story because if United think, you know, Dean Henderson is not going to get the game time and David De Gea is going to be the long-term #1 goalkeeper at United for the next few seasons, then maybe we should let Dean Henderson go, then carry on with his career and join another football club. So that does bring you up to date with all the latest United news. Let me know about what you thought about the performance last night, and also let me know what you thought about the comments I put in. Leave your comments in the comment box below. I will be back tomorrow with the latest Manchester United news. Make sure you switch on the notification icon so it does keep you up to date with all the content that I bring you on the channel. Feel free to smash a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel on the bottom right hand corner, and also feel free to share the channel with other Manchester United fans. Thank you all for watching, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will speak to you soon.